Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making peanut butter bread made with buttermilk. You heard me, peanut butter bread made with buttermilk. So let's just dive right in and get started. I'm starting out with 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Now remember, all-purpose flour is plain flour. And all of you who have been following me for a while or since the beginning of my Facebook page, you know that I use white lily flour. I love it. And there's not much left in this bag. Well, guess what? No worries, because I always keep an extra bag of all-purpose flour and self-rising flour on hand because I don't want to run out. So I'm using 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose, which is plain flour, in this recipe. So that's what we'll be using. I'm using 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, for my new followers, I always sift and then measure my flour unless a recipe says differently. So I'm going to go ahead in a minute and I'm going to sift my flour and I'm going to measure it. And then I'm going to add my baking soda and my salt and I'm going to re-sift it. And it'll be ready to add to the other ingredients when it comes that time to add it. I'm using 1 cup of light brown sugar. Now this is packed, so I just dipped it in there and packed it, and it's 1 cup of light brown sugar and it's packed. I'm using 1/3 of a cup of creamy peanut butter. 1/3 of a cup of creamy peanut butter. 1 egg, and 1 cup of buttermilk. 1 cup of buttermilk. So let's just get started and make this peanut butter bread with buttermilk. I have preheated our oven to 350 degrees and I have sprayed this loaf pan with a non-stick spray that has flour in it. And this is, let's see what size it is. It's 8.5 by 4.5 by 2.5 inches deep. So that's the size loaf pan that we'll be using to make or to bake our peanut butter bread. So I'm starting out with 1 cup of brown sugar. To that, I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of creamy peanut butter. This recipe doesn't call for any oil or any butter because the peanut butter itself has oil in it, so that'll serve as our oil for our recipe. So now we're going to use our electric hand mixer and we're going to start creaming the peanut butter and the sugar together. Just mixing it around. You could use your large stand mixer if you wanted to, but this really is about the size of a recipe if you were making banana nut loaf or banana bread or something like that. So you really don't need it unless you just want to use a larger mixer. So I'm just creaming it together to get all of the lumps out. This won't take long. You know, there's some people who are allergic to peanuts and tree nuts like pecans and things like that. And so, you know, if that's the case in your family, then you would not want to make this recipe for them, but you could choose something else that would be delicious. I'm thankful that we can eat peanuts and peanut butter because we certainly do love it. Okay, now let's add our egg. I'm going to take a fork and beat our egg just like that before I add it. In a lot of my recipes, I beat the egg with my electric mixer before I add it to my other ingredients, kind of until it gets foamy. But today I just had one egg, so I just decided to use a fork. So now we're mixing this together. This is another one of those simple recipes, folks. I'm telling you. You can do it in no time. Just whip it up and go about your business, doing whatever you want to do for yourself or for someone else, or things that absolutely have to be done, things you want to do. Okay, I think that's mixed well. Now we're going to alternately start adding our buttermilk and our flour. This is going to take a little while because I want to do it gradually so that I can mix it really well. So I'm going to continue to alternately add the flour and add the buttermilk, and when I get it mixed, then I'll come back and we'll continue. Okay, I have added the last of our flour and buttermilk, and I wanted to bring you back in while I finish up. I'm taking my spatula and I'm raking down on the sides, and now we'll finish mixing it. Just like that. And that's it. That's all that you have to do. So I'm going to rake it from the bottom and make sure that I've got everything incorporated from the bottom. Just stirring it around. And now we're ready to pour it in our pan. I can't believe it. I just cannot believe that it happened that fast. Look at that. I'm going to bake this for about 45 minutes, and of course you know me, I'll check it before then to make sure that it's done and that it's not overdone and too brown, which means that Joyce burned it. I don't do that very often, but sometimes I do mess up. So now we're ready to go in the oven with our peanut butter bread made with buttermilk. Okay, our timer has gone off. I checked our bread and it is done. Let me just pull it right out here so that you can see it. Look at that. Look at that. Peanut butter bread made with buttermilk. I'm going to take it out of the oven, put it on a cooling rack. When it gets cool, I'll turn it, or cool enough, I'll turn it so it can finish cooling, turn it out of the pan so it can finish cooling, and then we'll cut it and taste it. Okay, our bread is out of the oven. It's beautiful. I have turned it out on this beautiful cutting board that our granddaughter Taylor Kate and her husband Reed gave us for Christmas. And I just love it. It says, Home with the Halsteads, established 1966. And that's our logo. I just love it, Taylor Kate and Reed. Thank you for remembering us at Christmas time. And it's perfect for cutting this bread. So now I'm going to cut another piece, just like that, so that you can see how easily it cuts. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. Thank you for helping me to make this peanut butter bread made with buttermilk, and I hope that you'll try it. So I'm going to try it right now. Let me just get a piece right here. I'll just bring the whole piece over. How about that? Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? I can taste this in the morning with some butter spread on it, put it in the toaster. I know it's going to be good. That is so good. It's a winner. I hope you have a blessed day. I'll see you again really, really soon.